I am so excited to introduce you to this community and to talk about your journey, your 32 years of teaching, and to talk about, I remember the first call we had, Carolyn, where you were telling me, you had retired right in the midst in June, right? In June of 2020, right in the midst of a pandemic as a teacher. And I remember in that meeting with you thinking, this is retirement goals. Like, you have taken your passion, your incredible passion of supporting and educating kids, and turned it into one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. And I'm really excited to share and talk about what you are doing and the goodness that you are putting out in the world. So I'm going to introduce you a little bit here, and then I'm going to get you talking about your experience and your journey. So Carolyn McGuire, she's a student of the MRA. She is right now, we are in month 5 or 6 of coach training. And you have been a teacher for 32 years. You even won the Prime Minister's Award for Teaching Excellence. Was it in 2016? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And retired in June after a beautiful, long career in teaching, and have completely kind of changed your focus. And I guess that's not even a complete change, but shifted your focus into supporting kids in a whole new way. You are a trainer in the Nurtured Heart approach, and I'd love to talk about what that is, what you're up to, and how you're supporting kids now.
Oh, that's lots of questions.
Yeah.
So the Nurtured Heart approach is created by Howard Glasser. He's a therapist in the US, and it is designed to help children who come with a lot of intensity. And we have a lot of children right now who are being gifted with this intensity, and it's showing up as anxiety and impulsivity and aggression. And I saw during my sort of last 8 years of teaching this shift happening in our schools, where these kids were just really struggling, and the families were struggling, and teachers were struggling. So in classrooms, it looked like classrooms being trashed, kids leaving classrooms or schools, kids having anxiety attacks. And I knew after 25 years or 30 years at that point that, like, we didn't have the right tools for these kids, and what they had was actually a gift. We just didn't know how, but we didn't know how to help them with their gift. And so when I found the Nurtured Heart approach, I just knew that I was on the right path to something. So the Nurtured Heart approach allows us to see kids, especially when there's misbehaviors or aggression or just behaviors that we tend to not want to see, that we can see a strength in what they're showing us and reflect it back to them so that they can get back to feeling safe and aligned. So can I share an example? Because I think that would help.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I've got a grade 3 classroom filled with little 7 and 8 year olds, and I have a child who has a history of throwing things like desks and tipping things over, so quite aggressive. And I look up, and I have a Nurtured Heart classroom at this point. I've trained all the children in the Nurtured Heart approach. I'm not just using it, I've trained them in it, so we're all using it with each other. And I look over, and I see this little boy, I'll call him Solomon. He was like gonna lose it. His face is beet red. He's like all clenched up, and I just lock eyes with him, and I go right into the Nurtured Heart approach and say, like, look at you, Solomon, like, look at you feeling that, like, just sit with it. I love how you're squeezing your hands so tight. You got this. I'm right here with you. And then I start recognizing other children with the Nurtured Heart approach. So I can say, Wyatt, like, look how you just backed away from Samuel. You gave him space. Like, you were looking after your friend. Solomon, look at they're looking after you. Look how quiet everyone got. We're all here for you. And then just to see him de-escalate. I get a little teary just talking. Like, to see him de-escalate, and then the kids applauded him. Like, when he settled, which was within minutes, you know, we didn't have chairs being thrown. We didn't have classrooms evacuated, which is what happens in some of our classrooms now because we just, you know, getting the right tools in place. So I think typically a lot of supports try to eliminate the behavior, and the nurtured heart approach says, like, yeah, we can live with this behavior. Like, this is an intensity. I think these kids are coming to change the world.
Oh,
Like, we need intense people to heal our world right now. And these kids are coming with this intensity in these little bodies, and they don't know what to do with it. It's too much for them.
oh,
And as adults and educators, we don't know how to help them. We try to get rid of it, right? Like, we want to get rid of that impulsivity. We want to get
and I
rid of
think,
that
yeah,
anxiety.
I think it scares us.
Yeah, and it scares them,
Yeah,
right? And so the
yeah,
nurture heart approach just gives us this beautiful gift of celebrating what's going right and what's going wrong.
wow.
Yeah, so that's it in a nutshell.
So, I love when you said that you actually train the classroom, like you're working with the kids and the students, and not just the intense student, but all of the other students. And I can imagine the compassion and the empathy and the connection that builds within the other students in the classroom as well.
Yeah. The class community is like nothing I had ever experienced before. And I was good at creating class community, but this is like just like support from the bottom up. And these are skills these kids will take, you know, into their
These are
life.
the skills. Like these are the most important things to be learning at that age.
Yeah.
I just think Carolyn, it's, and you and I have had this conversation before, but it's like you have this call on your life and this purpose that is so much bigger than you. Talk to me about, like, what was that pull? Like, when did you, what was that? What was the pull? And when did you know that this is what you were meant to do?
I think I've always had the pull for making kids successful.
Yeah.
That would be my superpower if I was going to tell you what my superpower was. And I think the pull was when I didn't have the tools to help kids with this deep intensity that was a bigger intensity than I had seen in education. And I saw other teachers struggling with it and parents struggling with it. And I had a little guy who, anyway, I had a little guy. I don't want to share too much about him, but I went and got the training for him because I just found it on the internet, and it was his mom that nominated me for the Prime Minister's Award. And I used the money from that award to get my training in the Nurture Heart approach. And on my
For him.
flight
So
home,
yeah.
I was like in tears because I knew that I knew at that moment this was my next step. And I, in my head, was like, wow, what would it be like to have a Nurtured Heart classroom instead of just use the Nurtured Heart approach? What would it be like to train teachers in a school and have a Nurtured Heart approach school? What would it be like to have a whole school board? What would it be like to have every teacher in Ontario coming out with the Nurtured Heart training in their toolkit? And it just got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I can remember my first, call with you that I was in tears because I was like, I know I'm supposed to do this. Like I've retired after 32 years, but I know I'm supposed to do this, and I can't do it if I can't keep myself rested and balanced, because it's going to take a lot to do. And so, yeah.
And if I recall correctly, Carolyn, that's actually what drew you into, because when you came to the Mind Rebel Academy, you were just interested in the practitioner training, right? You were interested in learning this methodology for yourself to really take care of you so that you could serve like this out in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I would just say that when I went to take the practitioner's training, I took it for personal growth,
Personal
right?
growth. Yeah.
Help me. And then since I've done the training and then moved into the coach training, what I realized is that it isn't for personal growth. It's my gift to the world. Like, I have never spent this kind of money on personal growth,
Right.
but really it, like, when I see how it impacts every person that comes into my life, because I have these new skills, I have this new way of being. It's like the practitioner training showed me how to see all my strengths and hold myself whole so that I could take on this big goal. But everybody I meet, I impact them, and then everyone they meet, it impacts those people. It's like a big ripple. So it's no longer self, like, personal growth. It's like world healing, world growth. So it just shifts. Yeah.
And yeah, you're leaving me like, you're leaving me speechless. I'm feeling all the feels with you right now. And, you know, I getting to watch you unfold and like getting to watch this process open up for you, and, you know, the ahas you were having, especially around your boundaries and holding people whole, and what does that actually mean, and what does that look like? And what I was observing as you were unfolding in this way is, oh my gosh, she's getting more and more powerful, right? As your boundaries were getting more strong, and as you were starting to understand, what does it mean to hold someone whole, capable, resourceful, and creative? What does it mean to hold myself that way? What does it mean to help children and parents and teachers? Because the who you help is not just the kids. You're helping all of these people, but to actually use these principles that we're learning and apply them in your life. I was literally watching you get more and more and more powerful.
Hmm. I'm going to receive that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say, like this, Hold Mind Rebel Academy, even just this past week, I was in something that wasn't holding me whole and capable. And to have like this, you supported me through it. My mentor coach supported me through it. My peer coach supported me through it. All the women in my group will support me through it. Like, to be able to be in a community where you have these like-minded women who know how to hold you whole and capable. I think that's the big, I mean, the skills are the big gift, but like, as an educator, I can tell you that the skills alone aren't enough. Like, it's that support system that holds us up. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's the bigger gift of the Mind Rebel, is that you have this huge, beautiful support of women to hold you whole and capable.
Yeah. And really practice those skills in such a safe way, in such a safe container.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the coach. So you are coming in just for practitioner training, and then, nearing the end of practitioner training, you wanted to continue. You couldn't imagine leaving at that time, and you chose to continue. How are the skills that you're learning in coach training helping you in this new path that you're taking in the nurtured heart approach?
I would say when I started the coach training, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I think I said, yeah, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't need it for what my dream is.
Yeah.
But I think what I've discovered is that my dream is not just now to train in the nurtured heart approach. It's to coach families as they start to use it. It's to coach teachers as they start to use it. It's to coach anyone who's interacting with those beautiful kids who have this intensity. And so, yeah, like, I'm just, say, in 32 years of education, you think you have a lot of tools for coaching, but I every week I'm learning things I didn't know.
Mm.
And I think now I have this bird analogy going on now. Now I can fly beside these educators and parents and coach them while I'm flying beside them, and I'm not carrying them on my back. I think
Oh.
I used to carry a lot of it on my back, which weighed me down, which didn't make me whole and capable, which didn't allow me to help a large group of people, right? Like, in order to help heal lots of kids, then I got to be able to fly beside
I think that that analogy that you just shared, that visual, that is exactly like the experience I've had watching you becoming more and more powerful, right? It's true. So when you were doing this before and having everything on your shoulders, it was weighing you down, weighing your energy down, weighing your capacity to serve down.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the way you have just so embodied this methodology and these practices and these skills and these ways of looking and perceiving at the world, it has expanded you. And I love that visual of flying next to them. It's such a beautiful way of looking at that.
Mm-hmm. So my 2021 mantra is to take flight and soar.
Yeah.
And I think I'm on my way.
I think you're well on your way. Carolyn, what is so you and I have talked about this like a long time ago, but I'm actually really curious now that the process has unfolded for you and you've gotten to this point in the program, what's the big vision?
Oof. I think my big vision is like, how cool would it be to have every teacher in Ontario with this training? Yeah, I have no idea if I'm going to get to that vision, but I just know that, well, an interesting example would be as soon as I made the decision to sign up for the coach part, I had never coached parents like outside of my classroom. And within a week of me signing up for the coach training, I had a few people reach out to me from, like not people that I was connected to that knew somebody that knew me. And I, was able to start doing some parent coaching.
Wow.
And then I had some of the teachers unions actually approached me to do some nurture heart book clubs. Like, it was like, oh, like I had never thought I would do that. And that's cool. And that reaches a whole other group of people. And so I'm just really open to, I don't know what the big dream is. I just know that there are kids out there counting on me that I don't even know yet to spread this as far as I can.
What this big call that you have on your life, it took an enormous amount of courage for you to take that training with the nurtured heart approach, to even come to the practitioner training and then the coach training. Like, you here you are after 32 years of teaching, retiring. And where, most people are like, oh, I'm done, but not you. It's what, like, so anyone listening to this who feel this, no matter where they are or what age they are, where they are in their career. And I think that's what I find most inspiring about you, is that none of that mattered to you. You felt this call and you felt this pull. If someone watching this who can connect to that and is relating to that and is perhaps where you were before you said yes, what advice do you have to them?
I think it's just like, it's a continuation. It's not an end. It's not a pivot. It's just being open to what, like I was meant to teach for 32 years. I wasn't meant to pivot partway through my career and do this.
Right.
I was meant to get all that experience and to meet all these intense kids that weren't there in the early part of my career. It's like, I don't know, the path was there for me. I don't think it's a path I'm choosing. I think it's just a path that's being put out in front of me, and I'm getting still enough to see it and to follow it. And even now, like when I say my mantra is to take flight and soar, but I also know it's to like fly a little bit and then go and rest. I fly a little bit and go and rest some more. Like I'm not meant to just like
full steam ahead.
No, right. I really, and I've learned all the tools in the Mind Rebel to like how do I know when I need rest? What's it look like? Because it's, it's like soul rest. It's not like going out
Yeah.
with your girlfriends or getting a manicure. It's
Yeah.
like, that's just like,
You're right.
that's
It's
like the
not just go take a
spiritual thing.
nap or go to bed early. It is, you're right. It is a totally different kind of care and rest.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like I call it soul care. I think that's the word
Yeah.
I have for it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
The words that keep coming to me for you is, it's like, yes, that the path has been laid out for you. Yes, the call in your life is way bigger than you, but you said yes, and you keep saying yes. And I think that, you talk about how, life is kind of organizing around you and presenting you with these opportunities and these new, and I think that it all boils down to you continuing to say yes to that next step.
Yeah. And I think it's surrounding myself with people that see me as whole and capable so that I can say yes. So, it was my husband saying, yeah, go take that course,
Right.
that money. I maybe
Right.
could take a trip with that money.
Go take your soul care course. Yeah.
Like I can tell you it's right for you. Go do it. Both times. Like
Mhm.
it's having, friends who support me and family who, support me and my 3 kids. Like, I don't think I could be here with a goal this big without having like my family, like my peeps, my
Yeah.
3 kids who are growing, like, and doing all their amazing things in the world, and my husband who's rooting for me, and my family who's rooting for me. Yeah.
They must be so proud of you, Carolyn.
I think they are. Sure they are. I know they are.
They must be.
I'm gonna own that.
Yeah, you should
And I
own that.
Yeah, and I of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For anyone listening to this who's been interested in becoming a coach and who's kind of on the fence of, is this something, is this something I should do? But who also feels that call, like feels the pull to be of service to others. What would you say to them?
I think I would encourage baby steps, like just book that first call with you, because that's your first step in having someone that really holds you whole and capable in whatever your dream is, or the seed for your dream. Maybe you don't know what your dream is. Maybe you just know it's something else. So, having my call with you, like afterwards, like you were able to hold it for me so that I could see it without having it weighed on my back.
Right.
And that gave me the courage then to take the first step. And then when I got to the end of that training, I mean, the learning curve is in education world, like the learning curve is steep. There's no plateaus for, your first 3 months. Like it's steep, and you're glad when you get 2 weeks off
to integrate. Whew.
And then I think, you'll know then. You'll know if you still have that, like, can I let this go?
Yeah.
And then you have another call with you.
Yeah.
Or someone from your team. And again, they hold it for you so you can see it. And yeah, so I guess baby steps, just if you, I mean, even if you're on the site listening to it, like you're obviously having some kind of call for something. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I've ever asked you this question, but why did you choose the Mind Rebel Academy?
It was you. Like I just kept getting drawn back to you. I took a few of your like little master classes that you've been. And I actually had a call. I don't know if you know this. I had a call booked with you in April of 2020, and then I canceled it. And then I, once I did retire, I was like, okay, I just want to talk and see. And then, yeah. So, and I got led to you through someone else who was already a coach trained.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's right.
So I kind of got connected to your site and.
Yeah. Carolyn, it's such an honor to be able to share your story. For anyone watching who is really interested in learning more about what you do with the Nurtured Heart approach and how you can coach kids and or teachers and or parents, how can they get connected to you?
So my partner, Christina Coder, and I have started Heartlifting Solutions, which is the the umbrella kind of that we train through. So you can reach us through Heartlifting Solutions. We do have a Facebook page as well, but
How about in the comments, I'm going to link your website there so that if anyone is interested in reaching out and learning how Carolyn and her partner can support you or your child or your classroom, like I cannot recommend this woman enough. You've just got the most pure heart of gold, and your desire to serve and nurture these children is so breathtaking and brings me to tears every time I talk about it. Yeah. So thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you for saying yes to the practitioner training and saying yes to the coach training. It has just been such an honor equipping you with more skills and tools so that you can expand your wings and fly next to these people so that you can create greater waves of impact in the world. That is my why. And so to be able to do that for you in the work you're doing is it's such a joy.
thank you. And it's your why that makes the Mind Rebel what it is, right? It's that same deep passion to help women soar and spread their wings and help and serve who they're going to help and serve. So I guess if I was going to end today, I would say to women, like, what's that phrase we use? If you had 10 times the courage, what would you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had 10 times the courage, what would you do? How would you show up? Right. Anyone who is interested in the Mind Rebel Academy and either our practitioner training or our coach training, our next cohort starts next month. A whole new chapter starts next month. And there are a few spots left. If you are interested, I'm going to actually put our booking link to book a call with our director of admissions, who is also a Mind Rebel coach and who has been through the whole training herself. And you can talk to her about if this is the right next step for you.
It's a beautiful step. It's a big step, but it's a beautiful step. It's a life-altering step.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you so much for your time today. And thank you to everyone who's watching, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks.